Hello there and welcome. By now, you're probably using AI tools in your development environments. But what about reviewing, approving, and merging a pull request that was created automatically by an agent and not by a human? That is exactly what we're going to cover in today's session called DevOps Foundations in the AI Agentic era. I'm David Sanchez. I work at Microsoft as a director, developer audience in the go-to-market team. When we started with this AI journey, we began with the AI assistants. It was an extension that you installed in your IDE and start using it while you were writing code to get inline suggestions or autocomplete. Later on, the chat mode was introduced, where you could have more natural language interactions with AI. Then in the second wave, the agent mode was introduced to have this agentic workflow where you could delegate tasks to the agents and the agents will analyze the requirement and make sure to complete the task. Now in the third wave, we have these hybrid teams or orchestration mode where humans are in charge of orchestrating multiple agents across the software development lifecycle. This has set a speed of innovation that we have never seen before. It used to take us years of experience, learnings, and mistakes to move from a junior developer level to a senior developer level. Nowadays, a junior with AI can generate thousands of lines of code, but that is not very productive if that code is introducing vulnerabilities, it's duplicating business logic, or it is not following best practices. That's why activity is not productivity. The output is not the outcome. We need to know what value we are adding to the applications. You know that quote, right? With a great power comes great responsibility. And that is why we need to talk about DevOps. When we first start talking about DevOps, we reference as the union of people, process, and technology. Later on, we adopted security, shifting left security practices at very early stage of the development process to not only scan our code, but also the dependencies that we were introducing. Now with the agents and the AI in the map, it's very important to talk about the agentic DevOps process. Because these agents and these AI tools won't automatically fix your bad engineering practices. Meaning that if your CI/CD is slow, the agents will make it slower. If you have lack of testing or like test coverage, unfortunately, the AI will pass that gate and the code that you will introduce is not high quality. The good news with this is that happens in the opposite way. If your engineering practice are very strong, the agents will make them stronger. So that's why we need to talk about the DevOps foundations when we start talking about the agentic DevOps approach. When we talk about infusing AI across the SDLC, we are talking about using GitHub Copilot in every stage, not only in the code generation part, but also in the testing, in the documentation, in the deployment, and also in the collaboration mode through github.com, through the different agents that we have available, like the code review agent, the cloud agent, or even beyond github.com through the Azure SRE agent. When we talk about shift left security, we are talking about using GitHub Advanced Security as part of our SDLC. This platform provides us tools to scan secrets in our repository, but not only in the default branch or the current branch, but in the whole Git history. We don't want to expose through the agents or through the repository secrets like API tokens or string connections. Also, we have the code security through CodeQL to analyze and find vulnerabilities in our code, but not only finding and getting alerts of that vulnerabilities, but with the integration of GitHub Copilot, get a solution to that vulnerability. This feature is called Copilot Autofix. And then the other part, which is very important, is Dependabot, to find vulnerabilities not only in our code, but also in the code base through the dependencies that we are adding. Around 80% of our whole code base is coming from these dependencies. So it's very important to monitor what packages we are adding and we are including as part of our code. Azure plays a big part in the agentic DevOps approach because we need a platform to not only operate and scale, but also integrate and report back when there is an application error in the production environment, so the agents can fix and remediate that issue as soon as possible. But also, talking about the platform engineering approach, we need to have environments to test the features or the fixes that we have for every pull request. This is basically with the environments on demand that are provided by the Azure deployment environments. Now let's do a demo to see how this agentic DevOps approach looks like in real life. All right, in this demo, we will be using the DevOps Engineer persona. This is a public and open source repo that is on the Azure Samples organization. We will be posting the link of the repository in the description of the video. Here you can navigate through the different folder structure, the dev container, the .github, VS Code. We have an API. We have the source code of the application. We even have tests. And you can read more about the application. This is called the Sava GIF Exchange app. It's basically a web application built with React, using as a backend Azure Functions and Cosmos DB. You can open it with the GitHub code spaces. Here you can see the features that we have. And by the way, this is a fully functional application, so you can actually use it to organize GIF Exchange, like kind of a Secret Santa web application. In the Azure resources, you can see here that we will be using static web apps with the Azure Cosmos DB. As part of the prerequisites, you can read more about how to use it locally and how you can also deploy it in Azure. The project structure, the configuration that we have here, we will need several environment variables. And we also have the GitHub secrets for the CI/CD process. The testing, CI/CD, basically we will be covering this structure as part of the agentic DevOps process. Monitoring, secrets or security, I should say. The different GitHub Copilot agents that we have for this application. As an example, we have the documentation writer, we have the test engineer, feature analyst, security reviewer, DevOps engineer, and each of these agents is basically focusing on different features or part of the SDLC process. The Agentic DevOps framework, here basically we have different features like using spec kit, prompt library, the code owners, load testing. We even have integration with the SRE runbooks in case we want to use the Azure SRE agent. And here you can see the contribution guidelines and the license, which is MIT. All right, so just to set the stage for this application, I'd like to step back and actually show you the application. So as mentioned, it's a Sava GIF Exchange app. You can organize GIF Exchange, create games, or if you already have a game, you can put the code and you can join the game. We have here organizer guide, how the application works. We also have the participant guide to show users how they can use the app. We have integration with email. We have different features like the calendar invite. We have the dark mode. So here you can see the application supports the light dark mode. We also have localization features. So as you can see here, the app is in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and so on. So I'm gonna create a game here. So I'm gonna call it test game 1. And I'm gonna put here, this is $20. I'm gonna use this date, this time, and the event location. I'm gonna put test location. Here is basically the email of the organizer. So in this case, I'm gonna skip the email part. By the way, this is my production environment. Here I'm gonna add the different participants. So David, I'm gonna skip the email for now. I'm gonna get a video game as part of this game. And I'm gonna keep adding different people to the games. I'm gonna add another one. The minimum is basically 3 participants in order to create the exchange process. All right, once that I have the game, basically I can click on next. I have the protect participant list. This is basically letting the organizer that each participant will have a unique link. The link basically contains the game ID and the token for that participant. If I want to disable this, basically we will be using a generic code for the game. But then the participants will be able to see basically the assignments of the other user. So that's why it's the default option. Allow reassignments. So if I, as a participant, I get a person and I want to have like another participant assigned, then I can allow this reassignment. Journal notes, basically you can put any directions that you want as part of your game. For now, I'm gonna leave that and click on finish, and that's it. So I have the game created, and now I can basically share this link with each participant. This is the link of the organizer. So if I want to see basically the organizer view, I can open a new tab, and basically here I can see all the participants, the details of the event, the list of the status. So I have who is assigned, any requests for reassignment. I can share this code as mentioned, or if I want to archive this game. So here you can see who of the participants have wish gift, if they are confirmed or not. And also I have the option to copy the link and share it with the, we have features as the export participant list. And that's pretty much for the organizer. So here I can copy this link. I will open it in a new, in private mode. And here I can see basically who I have assigned, and that's pretty much. So here I can download basically the calendar invite, and I can see the details of the event. So couple of things that I have in mind to keep adding as features is, first of all, I would like to have another language support. As you can see here, I like to add Vietnamese language since we don't have it as part of the list. So in order to do that, I can leverage the agents that I have in this repository to add these features. So for doing that, if I go to the issues, you can see that the close one I have is basically adding Vietnamese language. So I already did that, and I assigned this issue to Copilot. Copilot worked in this issue an hour ago and basically finished the work. And now this pull request is merged, as you can see here. So what that means is that if I go to the Agents tab here, you can see that basically Copilot already completed six different tasks that I assigned it. And I have another one that is basically implementing confetti effect for GIF assignment opening. So what I want with this feature is that when a user basically open the assignment view, it will have like an effect coming up, basically like celebrating that user joined the game. So if I open here, my goal with that is when I open this page, I will have like a confetti effect, like a celebration, because I joined the game. So the first part is basically the Vietnamese language. So if I go to the actions here, we have the CI/CD workflow. So this is where I like to start with the DevOps part. So the first part that we have here is the add Vietnamese location. So you can see that this was basically in a branch that Copilot opened, and that basically already finished. So the other part is basically, if I go back to the main branch here, I can see that this is basically adding Vietnamese language, is a merge pull request. And if we explore this CI/CD, what we have here is the first task is build and test. So the first thing we are doing is making sure that everything builds and the tests are successful. This is unit test, and this is end-to-end test. So the end-to-end is actually using Playwright to make sure that not only the test coverage are passing successfully, but also the integration tests are working as expected. So all the functionality of the web app are working. The next part is actually deploying. In this case, because I'm running in the default branch, we are deploying the application to the QA environment to make sure all the different features are working as expected. In the case of a pull request, we deploy infrastructure per pull request. So we have a platform engineering approach where each pull request will have its isolated environment to test this feature. So because I'm running this in the main branch, this basically workflow skipped the deployment of the PR and basically went straight to deploy the QA environment. So as you can see here, we have the deployment of the pull request. This is using Azure Static Web App. As you can see, this is different from my production environment. So now if I open this, I can see that now we have Vietnamese language support. So if I go back to the first tab here, let me open this homepage. Here in the production environment, that language is still not available. And that's because I am seeing here the QA environment. As part of the QA process, we have the execution of the test in the QA environment, not only locally as we have here, but actually in that against that environment. As part of the test that we are doing, we are actually using Azure Load Test to make sure that we have the capacity to manage load test. So in this case, you can explore the script that we have for the load test. And here you can see the configuration and the script that we have. So in this sample, we are just doing 100 concurrent users here in the homepage for 60 seconds. That is basically the process that you can customize, and you can increase the number of threads that you want. If you want incremental, or if you want all the virtual users at the same time, the duration and so on. Also the navigation. In this case, I am just testing the homepage, but you can actually update the script if you want to navigate through the different pages as well. So with that, once the load test is completed, we deploy the production infrastructure in case the CI/CD detects basically different infrastructure resources in the Azure environment. So if we are adding like any other like Azure feature or Azure service, then basically the deployment of the bicep template will run again to make sure the environment that we have is up to date. So in this case, as mentioned, we are using Bicep. So here you can see all the different resources. The pull request environment is deploying the static web app, the Cosmos. Email service is disabled. And the production environment is enabling this email service. The same with the QA to make sure that we are testing basically everything as the production environment. All right, so you can explore here basically the different parameters that we have per environment and the different modules of what we are deploying. So in this case, we are deploying monitoring. And as part of the Bicep, you can see all the different resources that we are using, like the log analytics, the Azure email service, communication service, the database name, container, and so on. By the way, something very important in the Azure infrastructure as a service is that we use unique names for each environment. So if I go to the Azure tab, here you can see that we have a unique name for the QA environment, for the production, and also we are using the number of the pull requests for all the different pull request environments that we have. So in this case, I have only one pull request open. Once this pull request is merged or is closed, basically the CI/CD workflow will automatically delete this environment. So the only like long-term environments that we will have is the QA and the production. Here you can see that we are using unique names for every service. So we are using the one for the Cosmos DB, another one for the static web app, and so on. So in this way, if you clone the repo and execute it in your Azure subscription, you won't have the issue of getting the block because the deployment name already exists. So that's the reason why we are using these unique names. All right. So where is the human in this loop? Basically, as you can see here, once that everything runs, me as human, I need to review the deployment and make sure that this environment is actually working as expected. So for here, I can see that we have the Vietnamese language. Here we can see the different guides. This is the participant guide. We also have the organizer guide. So I don't know Vietnamese, so I cannot review the quality of the translation, but it seems that it's working. So now I am able to review the deployment and basically move forward to the production environment to support Vietnamese language as part of the production environment. All right, now let's explore the pull request. So as part of the pull request, as mentioned, what I need to do is open a new issue, assign the issue to Copilot. In this case, adding the confetti visual effect. So when the participant open their Exchange GIF assignment, they will be able to see this. Something that I highlighted is that I need to make sure that this will work in the mobile or desktop web devices. All right, so here Copilot basically took this assignment, open a pull request automatically. So you can see here, it was created an hour ago by Copilot. Here is basically the description of what was the assignment. Here I can see the session where Copilot basically start working on it. And I can see how long it took. So in this case, for this session, it lasts 16 minutes using the different MCP servers. Here you can see basically reading the code base, doing the validation, added the confetti celebration, basically modify this file. And that's pretty much. So we even have a note here, and that's basically the session. So with that, I can come back to the pull request, see basically the different comments, see that this environment was deployed using another basically environment, different of the production and different than the QA environment. So if I go back to the pull request, I'm gonna open this new environment. I'm gonna create another game just for testing here. So test game 2. I'm gonna add $20 again. I'm gonna use this time test location. Here I'm gonna add David. I'm gonna add Sam. And I'm gonna add Carrie. And I'm gonna leave these options like that. And for David, I'm gonna open a new private window, open this for the first time, and see, here I have the confetti effect going on. So it seems that it's working. So now I can go back to the pull request. If I need to add any comment, I can basically mention here Copilot, saying that I want the effect with any specific like request, like maybe long time, things like that. So I can keep basically the loop going. If I need like any other spec as part of this feature, I can add the comment, and basically Copilot will take that comment and keep working on that. So this is just an example of how basically the Copilot Cloud Agent work. As I mentioned here, we have different agents. You can see the definition of these agents in this folder. So you need to go to the .github agents, and here you will have the DevOps engineer agent definition, the documentation writer, feature analyst, and so on. So now the DevOps engineer, basically here it's the description. Here is the responsibilities, constraints, architecture overview. So basically the different key files that this agent will be working on. And if I go to the agents tab, here I can select which branch I want to ask a question, or I want to assign a specific task. As well, here I have the agent selection. By default, I'm using the Copilot Cloud Agent. If I want to use one of my custom agents, I can define if I want this a specific DevOps engineer agent. And as well, I can define which model I want to use. In this case, I'm gonna leave this by auto, but here we have the different models available. So I'm gonna ask basically this agent, how can I improve the accessibility features that are part of this CI CD workflow. So I want validation of the accessibility features and make sure that basically my web app, it's gonna evaluate the all the different features that should be part, like the alternate test for the images and so on. So I'm gonna basically create this task, and once that I assign this, basically the DevOps engineer will start working on that. And again, I can see basically the session going on. These are tasks created by me. As well, I can have one agent creating multiple tasks and basically orchestrate other agents. And here, what the DevOps engineer will do is basically evaluate the different workflow files that we have, and basically start working on how we can improve the accessibility features in the workflow. So for now, I'm gonna leave this running. The other part that I wanted to show as part of this demo that is very important is the security part. As you can see, we have a security and quality tab here. So I'm gonna open this. And from here, you can see that we have quality. We have Dependabot, that is actually a part to evaluate the different dependencies that we have, vulnerabilities in my packages. We have code scanning to evaluate basically vulnerabilities as part of my code. So let's explore this alert that we have here. So this is basically disabling the certificate validation. As you can see here, this is basically reporting the CodeQL tool that there is a disable Cosmos DB. And this is only for local host. So this is actually expected because I'm using the local emulator of Cosmos DB. So here we have which file basically is coming from this alert. I can click on generate fixed. So the Copilot agent will evaluate the code and will basically generate a fix to work with this, because this is emulator certificate, then I'm fine with this issue. If that is the case, I can also click on dismiss alert, and here I can say basically that this is used in test, so it's not basically a production code. This process is actually just working for the emulator certificate. Or if I want to basically go with the Copilot auto-fixed solution, then I can commit this to a new branch and basically have this solution as part of the code. So here basically we'll validate that the Cosmos emulator certificate path will be in place. So if I want to go with that solution, I can do that. Or I can close basically the alert because it's used only in a test environment. Now let's explore the other alert that I have. Here is basically the secret scanning. So this is actually exploring all my Git history to make sure that I am not exposing any secrets or tokens as part of the code base. So here we have a generic alert. It's basically a password. Here is telling me where this secret was found. And you can see it's basically as part of the markdown file in the local development setup. And it's basically telling me that we have a Cosmos DB key exposed in the repository. And again, this is basically the default password for the local Cosmos DB emulator. So I am fine with this. I can go ahead and click on close this alert and say that this is used in test, or this is a false positive, or basically if it is something in production, I can say I already revoked this password and we can close the alert. But because this is the default password for any Azure Cosmos DB emulator, I can leave it like that. So with that, that's basically the security and quality. The process that I am doing as part of this CI/CD is that if I go to the settings of the repository, if I go to the advanced and security here, you can see that I'm using CodeQL. I'm having the Copilot autofix turned on, and I have the secret protection with validity checks, basically doing a scan for generic password as the one that I show. And all the different features of advanced security are turned on. So we have the dependency graph, the Dependabot alerts, and the code scanning. The other part that we have is the secrets for the actions. So I have configured the Azure credentials. I have the cleanup secret. So this is basically a workflow that will delete any game that was created, and basically it is 3 days old. So that is part of the documentation of the features of the application. And here you can see basically the production environment, have the different resources created. So this is basically done through the CI/CD. Here you can see the different resources. For example, here we have the email communication service. If I open the pull request, you can see that I don't have that service created. And here we have the different improvements that I can make in the CI/CD workflow to make sure that basically we have the accessibility features or check validation for it. So here is telling me what I can implement in the CI/CD process to make sure that we have these accessibility metrics. So with that, I think we cover the whole CI/CD process. We cover how the different deployment works in the PR environment, in the QA, in the production. Production is actually the one that it requires human validation. So for doing that, if I go to the settings of the repository, if I go to environments, we have here the production. We have one rule created, so I can add up to 6 people as part of the reviewers. And we can have the different restrictions, like for example, only the default branch is allowed to be deployed in this environment. So only protected branch or a specific branch. As part of the rule sets that we have for this repository, we have one for the main branch. So this is the default branch. Requires a pull request before merging. Requires status checks. So for example, I need to make sure that in order to merge a pull request, the build and test are passing successfully. Same with the CodeQL. Require code quality results. Here I can specify the severity, if only errors, warnings, or basically all. Automatically request Copilot code review process. So every time that I open a pull request, the code review agent will automatically be part of the reviewers. And yeah, that's basically the coverage that we have. So we covered in this session how you can assign issue to the Copilot Cloud Agent. We cover the CI/CD process with this Agentic DevOps. We cover the custom agents. We cover the security and quality. And of course, we cover Azure as the platform of this, with a platform engineering approach to have a isolated environment for test, for pull request, and also for a quality and production as well. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Really recommend that you explore this repository. If you would like to learn more about the Agentic DevOps, we would like to refer you to the DevOps Spotlight as part of the source. Here you can find different resources like training material, author repositories, sample demos, and different webinars and workshops that we have available for you. I hope you liked the content of this webinar. Thank you very much for joining. and hope to see you in the next one.